excess deaths. So why are so many people dying this year when you compare it with last year? Now, I'd say something is worth investigating, wouldn't you? Like, how many of you actually think that we should start looking into this more deeply? I do. A few weeks ago, we brought you the data. The data is absolutely troubling on the significant rise in excess deaths in the UK and the stunning data in the United States. Now, the data shows that young people are dying at an alarming rate. Many of these people are from the age of 0 to 24 years old. So that's an awful number, right? We can see people, okay, over 66 years old, over 65 years old. I get it, right? Maybe there's seasonal adjustments but 0 to 24 years old? What the hell's happening here? A few weeks ago, we saw this. This is towards the end of September. We showed you this chart. Now, this is from the CDC. Okay, this is the CDC's own website. And in red X's at the top there, what you can see are these are all excess. All of the areas where there's like little plus signs above that red line that looks like a wave. Okay, all of those above that are excess. Abnormal, and it's growing. Now, if you look at the current trajectory of excess deaths in the United States, take a look at this. Now, we'll get to the UK in a second, but look at the current excess deaths. This is from this afternoon, okay? This is the CDC's own website data. So just look here as we track up, and you can see as we continue to go up this steep hill, climbing, and continuing to grow. Excess deaths the week of this ending last week, okay, the 43rd week. Look at that. Astonishing. And the cumulative excess deaths in the United States from 0 to 64 years old. From 0 to 64 years old, okay? Now, if we scroll down a little bit more, and you'll see from that's 65 plus right there, okay? That's a little bit higher. But then look at this. 0 to 24 years old. 0 to 24 years old. Astonishing. Look at that chart. I mean, it's not hard to, you sort of sit there with when I look at, like, my mouth's open when I'm looking at these data points, Well,
and that's the thing.
It's like a ski slope.
We expect our mainstream media to why aren't they going through these numbers? Why is this? I just cannot comprehend why these people live in our society. They have kids. They have friends of their kids. Like, why are they not concerned with these numbers and talking about this on mainstream media? Like, we could potentially, I don't think we will now, because I think the narrative is starting to open up a little bit and YouTube's getting more lax on the rules. But at one point, if we talked about this very thing, we would be suspended.
I mean, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. So what we try to do here is provide you with the data. You make your own assessment. This is coming right from the CDC's website. Okay, these are not my opinion. These are not my data points. These are the CDC's guidelines and website data. Okay, so look at this. This is the state-by-state breakdown of this data. Just to be clear, YouTube, this is the CDC's data. So this is the cumulative, just general average, okay, of increased excess deaths. And here, that's 6%. That's a 6% here at the top. Okay, now it goes state by state. So as we scroll down here, this is the excess deaths in Alabama. That's and look at these studies. 24% in Arizona increase. 13%. Jeez. Arkansas excess deaths are 7% as of last week. Look at this one. 14% in California. And then you get some weird ones like in Colorado down 7%. Connecticut down. So then that weights the average down. So when at the beginning we showed you that 6%. But then look at these increases all across these states. Delaware, massive increases, right? The District of Columbia, oddly, really, really down for some reason this past week. And then Florida up. All of these states up, 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 up. And in the UK. So let's talk about the UK. A stunning bit of news, a new data since we last reported this. Here's the Telegraph. This Telegraph story is really eye-opening, and you should all read it. It's unfortunately a subscription service. I hate that I have to pay for some of these big publications like this, but I do because Sometimes we feature them here on the show, and it's important for us to do it, and I pay for it, so you don't have to. So I'll kind of go through what this Telegraph story says. Rising non-COVID excess deaths reveal the disastrous legacy of the pandemic. And it says, when Britain first locked down in March 23, 2020, the average daily death rate from COVID was around 213, triggering understandable alarm and the ushering in of strict restrictions. Now, a similar number of unexpected deaths are occurring each day, the majority of which are not primarily caused by coronavirus. Now, I'm quoting this Telegraph piece. These are not my words. Yet there is largely silence from the government and health service, it says. Data from the Office of National Statistics, ONS, shows that in the past 6 months, there have been more excess deaths from causes other than COVID than deaths due to coronavirus for the entire year. So what is it then? So the report goes on. Data from the Office of National Statistics, the ONS, shows that in the past 6 months, there have been more excess deaths from causes other than COVID than deaths due to coronavirus for the entire year. Figures reveal there were 18,394 deaths due to COVID recorded this year in England and Wales. But since May, there have been 23,195 excess deaths where the primary cause was another condition. Some of those people did die with a coronavirus infection, but it was not the main reason for the death. Unbelievable. The excess deaths in the UK. Take a look at this latest data. Now, the Daily Skeptic has this put together. And these are in here in red that Will Jones has highlighted from the Daily Skeptic shows. I don't know if we have that chart, do we, or is it just on my laptop here? You can take this on my screen here, Philip. Sorry. So this excess deaths in red. These are the most recent few from the end of. From the beginning of this year. These are the 5-year averages for the weeks 1 to 8 in 2022 are affected by the COVID-19 wave in early 2021, right? So that was the COVID wave right there in early 2021. So what the hell is this in red? Can anyone answer me? So COVID wave came. Everyone went and did something. Governments mandated people to do stuff. You know what I'm talking